Mike Bailey has noted that his contract expires this year. Bailey, for the past few years, has had somewhat quietly many great matches, as almost as anyone in wrestling. But hold on here. But he's got a major push here. He's a good indie attraction. And he did great last year's Super Junior tournament in New Japan, but isn't in this year's tournament. So, yeah, Mike Bailey, he is done at the end of the year. He noted, I believe he told Fightful in an interview there that his contract is expiring at the end of the year. And, while I think it would be awesome for TNA to be able to retain him, I just think that he's just got too many friends in AEW. He's a bit of an indie darling, and he works that style. I think that they would love to have him. And it's pretty clear that TNA is never going to make him their top guy, nor should they. I just don't think that he would work as the top guy here. And I'm a big fan of his. Some of my favorite TNA matches ever involve Mike Bailey. Like, of course, the Will Ospreay match. He did a 1 hour match with Josh Alexander. I wasn't as high on it as everybody else, but I thought that was pretty good. At Against All Odds a couple years ago, he had a really good match with Trey Miguel that I thought was awesome. But I think one of my favorite matches that he ever did in TNA was the Kenny King match in Atlanta, where they just took down all the ropes and they did kind of a blood sport match. And that was the first time where I was like, okay, Mike Bailey has got some fire to him. Bailey has a little bit of character to him. And that was the one thing that was missing, is like, can Mike Bailey get mad? We just never seen it. And in that match, I think Kenny King was able to get the best out of Bailey, both in the ring and in character work. I thought Kenny King did a great job. And we just have not seen much of that since then. While I hate the name Speedball Mountain, him and Trent Seven have quietly put on a string of some very good matches, to include the match at Rebellion, which I think a lot of people thought that was the match of the night, with Speedball Mountain versus the System. And I really enjoyed that match too. They've put on some really good performances, but it looks like that team is going to be no more here pretty soon. And then, of course, at Under Siege, they had another really good match, a trios match. But yeah, he has had a really good run here in TNA. He wasn't even allowed to work in the States for a long time because I think he violated a work visa. There was like a work visa issue there. So sometimes Canadian wrestlers are able to come across the border, and if they don't get the proper paperwork and they get caught working, and then they get in trouble. And I think he got banned for like 5 years, which really put a damper on his career, because at that time he was, I think just about every company was interested in him. He was a young guy making a lot of noise, having great matches. And he might have been an NXT guy. And here, actually, Joseph G, my cousin in the chat, says he was set to sign with NXT right before they made the switch to 2.0 and decided against indie guys. I did hear some rumblings that they were interested in him around that time. Now, I don't know if they didn't sign him because of that or what. I know that AEW might have also been interested, but TNA really made a hard push for him, and they actually sponsored his work visa. And that's why he's been able to have the run that he's been able to have on the indie scene in the States, is because TNA sponsored his work visa. And look, he's had a really good run in TNA, and I'm a big fan of his. I know a couple weeks ago I was pretty tough on him, and I wasn't really trying to be tough on him. I was trying to be tough on the people that were really coming at TNA for the way that they're using them, and specifically being in the main event of Under Siege in a tag match with Matt Hardy. A main event for a premium live event with broken Matt Hardy. That's what people got so upset about. And I was just like, guys, and he actually was wearing like the broken Hardy jacket and stuff like that, which Matt Hardy revealed was actually their idea, and they were excited to do it. It was just like a couple of creeps online were getting super mad about it. It was just like, God, you guys are ridiculous. You guys are pretending that Broken Matt wasn't one of the most over guys in TNA history, which is why he's doing this nostalgia run. That's all that it is. And they were having fun with it. And then the match turned out to be awesome. The match was really freaking good. If you have not seen the Under Siege match, I implore you to go check it out if you're already a TNA Plus subscriber, or you subscribe to their YouTube, or you're capable of stealing stuff online, which I would never personally do. Yes, I would. But I would implore you to go check it out. and judge for yourself. Like, it was a fun match. Like, Matt Hardy wasn't moving around so well, but what they did with him worked. And a big part of the big reason why the match was so great, Matt Hardy was freaking over, of course, that broken Matt, and Speedball is awesome. Every match he's ever been in has been like really good to awesome. And he is one of the top guys out there. I would love for TNA to re-sign him. I think they're going to have a hard time doing that. But look, I've been wrong before. I thought Macklin was out the door, man. I really did. And honestly, I thought Ace Austin was going to be gone too. And I think NXT, if they did not make a play for Ace Austin, they're fools. Because Ace is so freaking good, and I get the feeling that they're about to get behind him, right in TNA right now, with what they're setting up, as far as angle wise and all that stuff. I think they really are about to get behind him. And if AEW and NXT decided not to make a play for Ace Austin, a young guy like that with all the charisma and the ability in the matches that he's been able to have, like I think they're ridiculous. They're just missing out. It's good news for TNA that they did that. So, but anyway, back to Speedball. I thought Macklin was out. I thought Ace Austin was going to be out. I thought lots of guys were not coming back, and they have stayed. So I would not be like completely shocked if they were able to sign him, but like he is, as far as in-ring ability, he is next level. Him and Josh Alexander are really the two guys that are still capable of kind of like, breaking that 5-star scale for TNA. And they're the last two to do it, right? Of course, in matches with Will Ospreay. But I think Tony Khan, as soon as he sees, if you did watch the match of Will Ospreay and Speedball, and if you've seen a lot of his other stuff and all of his WrestleMania weekend stuff, I think he's going to want to have that guy. Now, if AEW does bring him in, and that would be my prediction, I just don't see NXT bringing him in, but I could be wrong. If he did come in, he's not going to be their world champion. He's not going to be the global champion of the continent. So all these people that are like getting mad at TNA for not booking Speedball properly, even though he was just in the main event, even though at Rebellion he was in a tag team title match that was not the co-main event, but it was like right below the co-main event. And even though coming up at Against All Odds, it looks like Speedball is more than likely going to be challenging for the X Division title, and then he's probably going to be in a prime position at Slammiversary, either in the main event or the co-main event, because they're in Montreal. He's never going to get to that level in AEW, and that has more to do with the fact that AEW is so stacked. But he's going to be another guy like Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and a lot of these other cats, Takeshita, and other cats that are going to come in, and they're going to have really good matches, and they're going to lose to the big name guys. Now, I know I mentioned Roderick Strong, and currently holds a title, but that is such a nothing title, and he's getting ready to have the Ospreay match. I kind of see Speedball kind of below that level, and I can see Speedball doing a lot of stuff in Ring of Honor too, like being on those Ring of Honor pay-per-views, having really good match. Like I could see like the co-main event of a Ring of Honor show being Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball, and then them having 4.5, 5, 6 stars, whatever you want to call it. Which I'm going to get into a little bit because Kenny Omega was kind of making fun of that, which I found to be hilarious. But yeah, I just don't see him kind of breaking through this. But that's fine. Like there are certain guys that are at certain levels, and that's where they belong, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. He's a hell of a talent. Great talent. He is just what he is. And what he is amazing. And so I hope the best for him. I wish the best for him.